What is up, my Howard County Reads homies? Today, we are doing a special podcast for Howard County Reads at the Kokomo Public Library 2022. And we are going to be talking about the Howard County Read book, The Chosen One.
The Chosen One.
The
creme de la creme.
Prince of the party.
Right. That would be Flygirl by Sherri Smith.
Yes.
And we actually are having a couple author events and all kinds of really cool stuff coming up. If you haven't participated in Howard County Reads, now's your time.
Yes.
Everything just went out. The newsletter just came out not too long ago for September through November. If you don't have a newsletter in the mail to you, come by the library, pick one up so that you can see all of the events that are happening. Because we have quite a few things. It's awesome.
Yes, and so Flygirl.
So should we explain a little bit of how Howard County Reads works then?
Yeah.
Okay, so I sucker Trisha, my boss, to let me on the committee every year. And so what we do is we get together a few times with Trisha, who is our boss up here in the adult and teen department.
Go Trisha.
Go Trisha, whoop, whoop. And then also a bunch of other librarians, other people in our community. I know we have a few people that usually come from IUK. And then Melissa, who is our Reader's Advisory Librarian, usually heads that up with Lori. She's usually always there as well. And we just kind of sit together, and what we do is we take everything that you suggest. So generally what happens is that every year before we sit down as a committee to choose books, we ask you for your recommendations. And there's usually a box sitting around here at the library or at your branch. And then there's usually a suggestion field online where you can go in and suggest a book that should be in our top 15 of how Howard County Reads. Sometimes it's the top 15. I think sometimes it's the top 10. It just depends on like what we can accommodate at the time or what we can do. And what we want to do is put in these books for you to be able to read based on your suggestions, what you think should be some of the top things, the top picks. So next year, that means you guys should hear the podcast now, start compiling a list of books that you want to recommend to make it our job harder and more fun to pick through all of these books. And so what we did was we met a couple times, we narrowed down all the suggestions, and then we picked the top 15. And of those 15 books, there's one book that is the top Howard County Reads pick, and that book is Flygirl by Sherri Smith, to which Trisha was able to have the author come and visit for us.
Yes.
So I believe you're going to tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, and also she is going to be, I think Marcia said she's going to be coming and talking to the kids at Central Middle School, and they're all going to receive a free signed copy
I believe
of
so,
her book.
yes. Yep.
Yes, so I'm just going to read the description of the book because you know how I am explaining books. It's like a tornado with a hurricane and lightning strike right into the middle of it. Okay. So, with the dream of becoming a pilot like her father before her, Ida Jones believes joining the newly formed WASP, Women Air Force Service Pilots, is her chance to fulfill that dream in a significant way, but must make the difficult choice of hiding her racial heritage in order to do so. So, I think this book, it was written by a black author, and the main character is black as well.
It's a historical fiction.
Yes.
And it is set in a time where black Americans and women were very discriminated against.
Right.
And it showcases this particular young lady and her struggle for wanting to become a pilot just like her father and her grandfather.
Right.
And the struggle that she has as a woman to be able to make those dreams and then those goals happen. So it's a very strong and empowering book.
Yes.
And it's actually a very interesting book. If you really like historical fiction, and if you're also into like aviation, I know that we have a coworker who is also a pilot, and he was very interested in reading this book because he can relate to that aspect of it very, very well. So,
right.
So I think Trisha did a really good job of picking a book that kind of encompasses a lot of different things for a lot of different people.
Right.
And it's not a heavy lifter, so I think if you sit down and you read it, I think it's going to be really enjoyable for you. Right now, the audiobook is great. I don't have any complaints with the narrator or anything like that. So we really think that you should pick it up and give it a try.
If you're scared of long books, this is a short book. It's like 200 something pages.
Yes. Yep. It's almost a novella, but it's written very well, and she does a very fantastic job.
It gets like really great reviews too. Like if you look it up on Amazon, Goodreads, stuff like that, it's got like almost perfect reviews.
Yes, and it also is a teacher's pick right now on Amazon. So this is definitely something for the times. Trisha did a great job picking this out and able to contact this author. And we're really excited that she's going to be able to come and not only speak to Central, but on October 25th at Indiana University Kokomo, she's going to do an author visit.
Yes.
And the tickets are free, but you must have a ticket to attend that event.
Yes, you
so
cannot
you can't just
go
show
in.
up and then get in. You will have to pick up a ticket.
And everybody in your family like has to have a ticket. You can't yourself have a ticket and bring like all 16 of your children. You gotta like have a ticket for each person.
Make sure that you have a ticket. You can pick up your ticket at any location. And this year, what we're doing is you can pick up a ticket for free at any location for whoever you're bringing. And then also you can purchase at your location a copy to be signed by the author at the event. And I believe those copies are going to be $9. And you can pay for those with a card or with cash or something like that, just so that you can be prepared to have that signed. And if you want to read it before then you can have a signed copy, which is really, really cool. The tickets are going to start going out September 26th, so that's when you can start picking up your tickets. And be sure that you come in and, like if you and your friend want to come in and grab 2 tickets for your friend, so that you can secure those spots for IUK. I think it's going to be really awesome.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Shout out to me. I got a book chosen on here. Yay.
Yes.
Small favors. If you remember us doing a podcast about it, it got picked.
Whoop, whoop.
I was rooting for it. And it did get picked. And it's like the best book ever. So definitely read that one. We have like 8 fiction books and 6 nonfiction books on here. We also have Whiskey in a Teacup by Reese Witherspoon. If you like Reese Witherspoon, we're having a program on that as well.
Yes. So what we decided to do this year was also create specific programming to go around the books that we chose.
Right.
And Whiskey in a Teacup they're going to have a book party on Thursday, September 22nd. And if you want to sign up for that, just give us a call, or when you come in, tell somebody that you would like to register for that. And what they're going to do is talk about, they're going to have food, music, all kinds of stuff. People really also love this book as well.
Yeah.
And it's actually really popular right now, and especially if you like Reese Witherspoon. I know she has a book club and everything like that as well. Mm-hmm. There's really awesome visuals in this book. So we're going to go in and start talking about all of the top 15 now after Flygirl and some of the things that were chosen. Like she said, we were able to secure small favors.
Yes.
And that's by Aaron Craig.
Woo woo.
And we did talk about it on the podcast. There are spoilers in that podcast, but if you would like to listen to the first part of it, then we should be able to, I think we summarized it, no problem.
Yeah.
And
it's a great book.
It's really, really good.
Retelling of Rumpelstiltskin.
I did finish this book, if that tells you anything.
Village vibes. If you've ever seen the thriller, like psychological thriller, The Village.
Yes, but much better than The Village, I think.
Yeah, way better.
So good. So good. And it's like a mythological fantasy horror, I would say. Like, it goes all in for all of those things.
I think there's going to be a second one.
Really?
But I'm not positive. I think that she said that she was writing a second one, and I'm gonna be in there like somewhere.
Yes.
I bought it because the cover is gorgeous. It's got like
very pretty.
Honey drizzling with flowers and bees. It's like all golden, like pastel vibes, and I'm in there like swimwear. I was like, yes, purchased, go on my shelf. It'll probably sit there forever. And I was like, maybe I'll read it.
So one of the goals with this top 15 as well is to like get a variety of different books for different readers, because not all of us read the same. So, like she said, we have a lot of nonfiction on here, and we have fiction. So Reese Witherspoon's Whiskey in a Teacup is nonfiction. We also have Fuzz by Mary Roach on here, which is also a nonfiction option. And she's the one that writes Stiff, if you've ever read that book about cadavers and things like that. She's a very interesting nonfiction writer, and she writes fiction. She tends to write fiction or nonfiction like fiction.
Right.
It reads very well, and it's very interesting. And her audiobooks are also really awesome. So we have Fuzz on there.
We do have a nonfiction graphic novel.
We do, yes, and it's Iranian love stories. And who's that by?
Jane Docard. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that last name.
I'm not sure how to pronounce it either. But this is something that showcases, I believe, true love stories, like forbidden love and things of that nature, or like arranged marriages and stuff like that, chronicling some people's personal experiences from this particular culture. And when we read through some of these books, people really, really enjoyed this. I did not read this because obviously I'm not a big fan of love stories.
Right.
But people said it was pretty fantastic, so I'm considering picking it up because it is nonfiction. It's not fake stories. So I'm hoping that will be awesome.
We also have a really popular book right now is The Push by Ashley Audrain. So we do have that one on our fiction picks. We do have a junior high book as well, Beasts and Beauty, Dangerous Tales by Soman Chainani. And those are like, it says it's 12 classic tales of mystery, love, and magic are reimagined. So I'm assuming that it's like a Beauty and the Beast retelling.
It's like they took all of these like different fairy tales and made them like a Grimm's fairy tale version of them. I know that's really popular right now to take different fairy tales and like different like Disney things and like recreate the storyline. And that is what this particular thing is. And the visuals in this are actually really stunning too. Everybody was pretty impressed with this read as well. Another book that we have for our top 15 is Ain't Burned All the Bright. And that is by Jason Reynolds. And this is actually kind of like it's not a graphic novel, but it is a short story, or even like, not even a novella, but it's like a book written about this particular boy's point of view during the pandemic and how he processes and sees what's happening. But it ties in with this artist that this particular author has partnered with to create like a visual story along with this word. It's like a narrative or like some kind of a narrative poetry or something like that. It is actually very, very good. I did read this one as well in the audiobook online, even though it's so short. They narrate it with a cast, and the author also narrates it, and it's very, very good. I read it and I have listened to it, and I would highly recommend this as well. And we are doing a art and poetry for teens and adults program, and they will create art and then place their poetry over it, just like the images in this book. And that's going to be on Wednesday, November 9th from 4 to 6. So be sure to stop in and register for that as well.
Yes.
So what we'll do is we should go through the whole list and then let you know what's available. So Iranian love stories, obviously. We have Whiskey in a Teacup by Reese Witherspoon. Exhalation by Ted Chiang, which is a group of science fiction short stories. This one was my pick. So The Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows is the one that I picked. I think it's by John Koenig. And this actually, which I'm going to go off on a tangent here, I'm sorry, but this actually started off as like this person's own personal website. And what this is what he compiles these words to describe certain emotions that we can't verbally explain. Mm-hmm. And it is moving and stunning. It was such a mind-blowing experience, like reading it online, and then to see that he had been able to publish his own book out of these things. It is amazing. You have to pick this up. Just give it a try. And then The Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams. The Single Tables by Sarah Desai. Fuzz by Mary Roach. The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova, which is about Dracula. Ain't Burned All the Bright by Jason Reynolds and illustrated by Jason Griffin. Beasts and Beauty by Somen Chenani. The Push by Ashley Audrain. The Words in My Hands by Asphyxia. Somebody's Daughter, which is a memoir by Ashley C. Ford, and then Small Favors by Aaron Craig. So there are so many things on here, and we could talk forever about all of the different books, all of the different genres that we have available. We have fiction and horror, and we have young adult and mystery, and we have a graphic novel, and we also have illustrated novels and things like that. So this is a pretty diverse palette.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be at least something for everybody.
Yes, and if you feel like there's nothing here for you, at least there's something I feel like that everybody can try.
Yeah.
And this is a good opportunity to get out of your comfort zone a little bit, come in and pick up a book, try it out, read it, give it a shot, because why not? Reading is an adventure.
Yeah, and challenge, if you read all these books, we will...
I'll bow down to you, sir.
Yeah. Pat on the back. Congratulations.
Yes.
You know what? I'm gonna bake you some cookies. That's what I'll do.
I have read A Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. I'm reading The Dictionary of Lost Words. I've read The Historian. Read Ain't Burned All the Bright.
You can't enter into the contest, Beth Ann.
Small Favors I've read. I'm going to read The Words in My Hands. I'm beating you guys, and I'm the worst person here.
If you could beat Beth Ann.
If you beat me, you get a gold button.
Yeah. You can come in, redeem your gold button.
So this is what we're going to do. If you have read all of these books, if you read all the books, we will give you a B&S button.
Yeah, because who wouldn't want that, you know?
Everybody wants one.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah. We even have buttons with our faces, you know?
Yeah, you can pick which one you want. We'll give you a whole button set for B&S Podcast.
The whole
set. You have to read
set.
all the books. And then you have to you have to email us a little blurb or, come in and talk to us about all the books. So Doug,
we need to read
all the books.
We need a button of our loyal video editor.
Yes.
Ben, you know what? We're going to get his face on a button as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to because he's the one that makes magic with all of our crazy.
Yeah, we just talk. He does the
He
stuff.
does all the stuff. He does all the work.
Yeah.
And then that means we have to do a button of Doug because he's our number one fan.
Yeah, the number one fan button.
Yeah.
Oh, we should do it.
We should. That sounds like a good idea. So if you read all these books,
you'll apparently get 27 buttons.
27 buttons. But you have to talk. You have to email us about it. Talk about what was your favorite one, and
yes,
maybe I don't care. Tell me what your least favorite one is. I don't know,
yeah.
or what one you were surprised that you liked.
Email us at offthebooks@khcpl.org.
Yes, and we have gotten some talks. I know we're going to read The Whisper Man. Somebody suggested that. One of our fans.
Fans. Shout out to you. Woo!
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Thank you for listening.
Yes, and suggesting this book. I'm excited to read it.
I am too. I stare at it all the time. I always see it when I'm at the bookstore.
I'm so ready to read it.
And I'm just it's giving.
Can we move things around to read it?
We're gonna move things around. Okay,
that's what we're gonna do
for
today.
you. We're gonna move things around.
We're moving things around so I can read it almost next because I really want to read it, and it's taking too long to get there. And I really think that I'm really going to like it because I'm ready to finish a book.
Preview into next week, we are going to be talking about, we're so excited, Book 3 of the Inheritance Games, the final book, the final gambit is what it's called. And that is by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. If you remember us, how could you forget us talking about the Natural series? We talk about it all the time. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that book, and the first 2 books were amazing. So we are really excited.
That it wraps up really, really well. I think it's got really good reviews.
It's going to be. I feel like it's going to be crazy. It's already crazy.
It has to be crazy though, or it's not going to be good enough.
I feel like it went from 0 to 5 million in the first book, and then 0 to 12 million in the second book. And this book just has to go to
But I
1
also
trillion.
need it not to end on a crazy cliffhanger either, though, because I'm going to need
It can't.
sequels or something like that, or like some like novella at the
Yeah.
end or something, because I'm going to call you up, Jinlin, and I
Yeah.
am going to harass you for this. If you do this to me,
Don't do this to us.
don't do this to us, because
Come on,
we're
Jennifer.
so excited about this book. And somehow we magically nailed down, all of us, me, you, Brittany.
Yes.
Like, we all nailed down copies at the same time. And I don't know how, because there's like over 100-something holds, like 135 holds.
I think I pre-ordered mine literally like 6 months before it came out.
You probably did.
Yeah.
I did not purchase it because I am still toying around with the idea of buying a signed set somehow.
Yes.
So that's
do
what I
it.
think I want to do. I don't know if I want the natural series in a signed set, or if I want the all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even have the natural series.
I don't either.
What are we doing?
But my
with
thing
it?
is like, I want to get it so people can read it, but I don't want them to touch my set.
Yeah. Get like find like a
Find
like a
two
cheap
sets.
set
Yeah.
somewhere like at like a used bookstore, and then that's the Touch Me set.
Yes, exactly. Like, you can borrow it, but don't lose it set.
Yeah.
Because I'll
Because
have to like come
don't
after
touch
you.
the signed copies in the special edition. Don't be
'Cause
like
you
my
can't do
son
that
and
and
throw it
them
into
in
the bathtub. Yeah.
Ugh. It makes me sad.
Yeah, my $300 set of Throne of Glass, he threw like the middle book into the bathtub, and you
can't replace
replace it unless you buy
The whole set
the
again.
whole set. So I'm like searching on
High
eBay.
and low.
Yeah. So if you got the special like, it's like the white like iridescent edition of Throne of Glass.
I cried for you that day.
I think it's like maybe the third book. Send it my way. I'll pay you for it.
So sad. I can't
R.I.P.
believe it. Seriously though. But so on that tangent, what are we doing after that? I don't actually know. So maybe after that we can read Whisper Man.
Yes.
Hopefully, we're gonna try to finagle it around so that we can review it. Because I really need a good like horror / psychological thriller / crazy thing to read in my life.
Yes.
Because if we read something next and it's not good, I'm 100% starting Empty Smiles.
By Catherine Arden.
Yes.
Is
'cause
that
that's
the one with like
last
the
book.
piranha?
No,
thing
that's
on it?
the one that one of them has it. Deep Waters. I think that's
Oh,
the
it's the
third
one with
book.
the clown on it?
The clown, yeah. That's her fourth and final for the series. And I am so excited to see like what happens.
I've never read any of her books. I need to read them.
You should read. It would take you literally a day to
Yeah.
read one book, because they're junior high, but they're horror, and they're actually pretty good. I would highly recommend them. I think Marcia recommended them to me again. She has recommended to me some of the best horror books I've ever read, and she does not like horror.
Yeah.
She reads nonfiction, because like The Monstermologist by Rick Yancey, because he wrote The Fifth Wave, and I hated that. But the Monstermologist
yeah.
series, he almost didn't finish it. But he finished it because his fans, like, really pushed him to go ahead and publish it. Dude, when I tell you that is the most phenomenal series, I cannot rant and rave about it enough. Like, if you really love gore and, like, monsters, mythology, and stuff like that, like, people who have, like, yeah, no, I can't spoil it for you, but it is so good.
Read it.
Read it. So there's literally, like, 28 books.
Yes, we suggested like 1 billion books to you in this podcast.
We did, but you have to come in and you have to get them, and you have to come up to the reference desk to our Howard County Reads display
Yes.
and pick up all the books. And we have the audiobooks up here, playaways, the hard copies, anything that you want, we got you.
We got it.
We got what you need.
All right, and we will see you guys next week for the final gambit.
Whoop,
So
whoop.
have a great rest of the week.
See you soon.
Bye.